Hey guys, what's up, how's it going? Welcome back for another video today, and in today's video I'm going to be giving you guys an update on my Wolf Simple Trade portfolio. I'll be showing you guys what stocks I'm taking a peek at today, and we got a lot of stuff to do inside the portfolio. I'm going to be moving some things around just to prepare for the end of the year, and there's been a few announcements in terms of some things to do with Canadian banks that I'm going to be talking about as well in today's video. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be going inside the portfolio. I'll give you guys an update because our portfolio has been performing quite well recently. We've seen a pretty big increase in the stock market recently, so I'll cover that. I'll show you guys the dividend income, and I'll give you guys an update on how my individual stocks are performing as well. So if you guys want to kind of follow alongside with me and be reminded of these updates on a regular basis, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and if you guys like the video, be sure to give it a big like. So like usual, the first thing we'll kind of do a quick little update on here is going to be the stock portfolio on Wolf Simple Trade. So here's my Wolf Simple Trade account. I'm just inside the app now, and it looks like we do have the US markets closing, I think, for Thanksgiving is coming up soon. So that'll be today, I guess, at the time of doing this video, today and tomorrow, which isn't really a big deal for us, but nonetheless, that's something to take note. We have a account value of $106,000 on Wolf Simple Trade, split across 3 different accounts that have basically been growing on this YouTube channel. So the first account is the personal account, which is our newest, well actually it's probably not our newest portfolio, but the main one we're building out right now, which has a balance of $11,000, currently up 9.21%, which is just under $1,000. Our newest account is our RRSP that we just started, that I'm going to be putting some more money in. This is more of a growth-based account for long-term investing. It's up 14%, which is $21. And then lastly, we have our biggest account that we've been growing here, which kind of had a lot of changes over the past year or two. It's our TFSA, and this is $94,000 with a $11,000 672 gain. This account over the past little while has been performing quite well, and it's also our longest account. So let's do a quick little update on some of the earnings here. So over the past day, which would be today, this account opened up with $370 gain, just under, I guess, 0%. Over the past week, we're up 1%, which is $677. I've seen a pretty steady increase in this portfolio over the past couple months. Over the past month is $5% increase, and like I said, that's that nice little increase over the past month. About $4,000 gained over in 1 month is not too bad. Like I always mention, as your account grows and your portfolio grows, you're going to see some more bigger increases. You'll see the bigger dips and dives too, but generally, as long as you're investing in good quality stocks, you will see that, that steady rise, and it'll get bigger and bigger as time goes on. Over the past 3 months, we're up 6%, which is $5,000, and then over the past year, the portfolio is up 13%, just under $11,000, and then all time, our TFSA is up 14%, $11,000, 670, and that's over the course of, I guess, 2 years. We're approaching our third year now, so it's doing pretty good. Like I said, we did start the portfolio just before the pandemic, but it's been growing pretty consistently, and we're pretty happy with it. So one of the things you guys might remember if you've been a long-time viewer of this channel is that way back in the beginning of 2020, I invested in a bunch of Canadian REITs that I was mostly using for passive income to earn some nice monthly income, but I also invested in them because I seen big dips in the market during the pandemic. Now, fast forward about 2 years later or so, almost going into our third year, we've seen a lot of growth inside these REITs. So let's kind of talk about these REITs because I've been looking for some opportunities to kind of combine them and sell them and kind of fix up the portfolio a little bit, if you will. So let's jump back inside the portfolio. Let's take a peek at our 2 REITs that we own, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on what I'm going to be doing with them going forward into the new year. Alright, so before we go any further, let's talk a little bit about our REITs that I mentioned earlier. So we have H&R REIT and RioCan. These are my 2 big REITs that I've held inside my portfolio, and we're all pretty familiar with RioCan. H&R REIT you might be familiar with if you're into REITs, and I initially got into these REITs because of the fact that they are really attractive in terms of their dividend yield. Now, before I got into the REITs, I didn't really understand a lot in terms of dividend growth, and I also didn't understand a lot in like gauging stock appreciation over time. So I kind of jumped into these just because they have a nice yield, and now they do have nice yields, they do have monthly dividend payments, and it is invested in the sector. Real estate, which is kind of a hot topic right now, especially in Canada. So I do like it for diversification purposes, so for sure, and they do have some good benefits. But you have to understand with some of these REITs, typically speaking, they don't grow as much as some of the other bigger dividend stocks and whatnot. But nonetheless, I do like holding them to some degree in my portfolio. So just to give you a quick little recap, in the beginning of 2020, we've seen everything kind of drop during the pandemic. Now around here, I looked at some of these REITs and I bought them, specifically H&R REIT, because it was more of like, I seen the stock hit so bad, and I knew it was kind of just temporarily decreased because of everything going on. So I really went hard into H&R REIT, and I bought RioCan a lot. and I've just been investing over time, but I kind of knew that these stocks, as they would grow, they'd kind of like level off as they have been, and I kind of over time over the past years kind of moved away from some of those higher yields and focusing more on dividend growth, stock appreciation, and more consistent companies. So H&R REIT has done really well for me. If we take a peek at it, we have 124 shares, $2,000, and we're up 21%. So pretty good gains over the past year or so, 2 years or so. But I've been thinking about getting rid of them, or at least kind of combining them into one and holding a small section of my portfolio. So the thing I'm going to be doing today is we're going to be selling H&R REIT. I've been waiting to do this for a while, but I think I'm just going to do it before the new year comes. We have 124 shares, so I'm going to be selling these, and that's a gain of about $363. Once again, it's not a lot of money. It was just a small percentage of the portfolio. And this is just me kind of messing around. But we're going to sell those shares today, and what we're going to do with them is we're going to put them into RioCan, and I'm going to talk about this in just a second. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want to kind of just make the REIT simple, and RioCan is also a more bigger, more consistent company, and it's the company I enjoy overall. So if I was to invest in a particular REIT in Canada, it probably would be RioCan. And here's RioCan here. So as you guys can see, we have our H&R REIT. I'm just going to refresh the page really quickly to see if it will update, because sometimes it's a little bit slow, and it looks like it updated. So our H&R REIT has gone through, and that's disappeared here now, and just we have RioCan. So once again, RioCan is the more bigger, more popular company. We should see them kind of grow. And once again, if I'm going to hold any money in some REITs, which I am going to hold some just for diversification, and I do like the monthly payments, I haven't quite decided how much of my portfolio yet. I've just kind of been buying it. It's really not that much at the current moment. But I will have to kind of think about this going into the future. But I will be taking that money and putting it into RioCan here. I'm just going to refresh the page once again because there is a little bit of delays. I'm just going to refresh it really quickly, and we'll put that $2,000 in RioCan. And there we go. So we need to keep a little bit extra just in case, I guess, because of the way the stocks move around there. That order went through, and if we have anything extra, I'll probably just put it into one of our ETFs that we hold. That'll be the main thing for that. So that's going to be the main focuses. I told you guys I was doing some moving around inside my portfolio today, and those are the main REITs that I'm going to be kind of moving around. So H&R REIT into RioCan, focusing on RioCan from now on, and making that my main REIT. So we got some really good news recently regarding the Canadian banks. If you guys aren't aware, during the past 2 years, Canadian banks basically had a limit on their dividends. They weren't allowed to increase their dividends. But we just heard some news recently that it looks like going into the next month, maybe probably next year, maybe, it depends on the bank, we should see some pretty big dividend increases for all of the big Canadian banks. And this is kind of expected because I'm a big fan of the Canadian banks, and I do think they are pretty good investments. They have lots of cash, they're really good business, they have a good strong history of good stock growth plus dividend increases, which is why I'm a big fan of investing in these stocks. So let's jump inside the portfolio. I want to talk about the Canadian banks a little bit. I'll show you guys how my Canadian banks are doing, more particularly how my TD stock is doing. And I'm also going to talk about why I think maybe looking at some of the Canadian banks to buy ahead of this announcement to get ready for that dividend increase could be a really good idea. Now, when it comes to Canadian banks inside our portfolio, I only hold, that's not true. I hold all of the different banks in Canada, and we hold these in our TFSA. Actually, we'll do a quick update on the TFSA first, and then I'll talk about the personal account because that's where we're going to be buying our new shares of our stocks. So here we have our different banks, and the number one bank I hold as an individual stock is TD, and then I have VDY, which holds a bunch of the other ones. So VDY is an ETF, holds CIBC, RBC, all those different ones there. So I have pretty good exposure to all the different banks. But my favorite bank is TD because TD has been the really fastly growing bank. They have lots of international exposure, lots of revenue increases. They have really, really good stock growth, really good dividend growth history. Just my favorite bank by far in terms of expansion and stuff. And I think they're doing really well. And we've seen a 38% increase in TD inside of our portfolio. And we've been buying this since the pandemic. So looked at when we originally bought it, I think we started buying it in about, I'm just going to go over the past 5 years here. And we've been buying it since about January 2020, and we've just been consistently buying it over the past 2 years, not really looking at the price, but just buying it. You guys watch my videos, you know I'm a big fan of TD, and we're looking at a 38% return, which has been really, really good for TD. And the announcement of the dividend increase is coming soon. I don't know what expect to see. It could be like a 10% increase, it could be a 20%, it could be a small percent increase, and then a bigger one next year. We don't really know, but I think TD is in a prime position. Their payout ratio is really low. They should have lots of room to increase some nice dividends. So buying one of the Canadian banks right now, I think would be a really smart idea. I'm going to go with TD like usual, and that's going to be the main stock I'm going to be buying today. inside of our personal account, which has our value of $140. And just take a quick peek at our personal account. We have TD, which is up 13% in there as well. We also have TELUS, which is doing pretty good. Some of these other stocks you could buy as well. Actually, most of our personal Canadian stocks are down a little bit. It looks like actually most of our US stocks are doing quite well inside our personal account. So that's kind of interesting. We've seen a nice little increase in our US stocks, but a bit of a dip in our Canadian stocks. Nonetheless, we're going to be buying TD as our main stock inside today's video, just because I think it's smart to buy some of these Canadian banks if they're going to be increasing their dividends, and they're always good stocks to buy. And hope you guys have started to get the picture of why that is in these videos. So I'll buy 1 share of TD, we'll put that through, and that's going to be the stocks I'm focusing on today. And lastly, before we kind of end this video here, I'll give you guys a quick little update on the dividend income like I do in all my updates. I'll show you guys how much money I'll be making monthly, and I'll show you guys how it's kind of basically grew over time. So before we end the video, we'll take a quick little snapshot at that. I'll jump over to my spreadsheet and I'll show you guys how much monthly dividends we've been making and how that's really grown over the past 2 years of having this portfolio. And last but not least, just a quick little update on the spreadsheet for anybody who's new, or if you guys watch my channel and you just like to see me update the spreadsheet here. So nothing new happening this month. Actually, in terms of dividends, we got some dividends at the beginning of the month, but nothing recently. We might start getting them over the next couple days, I would imagine, since it's the tail end of the month. It's November 25th at the time of doing this video. But just to give you guys a quick little recap here, in September, we made $159 in dividends, $297 in October. October was a really good month. November 126, so we should see maybe towards the tail end of December, maybe the beginning of January being another big month, because that's that third quarter kind of starts, that first quarter I should say, or the end quarter of the year kind of thing, whatever you call it. Some stocks pay in January, some stocks pay in December, so it's going to kind of be maybe mixed between the two, I'm not too sure, but that's always a big month here, and we're taking those dividends and reinvesting them, of course. And we have a total dividend count of $1,434 inside the portfolio. So that's how much money we made since we first started investing. So once again, in the beginning, it really wasn't a lot, but as time went on, as you guys can see, the dividends just kept increasing and they keep growing. So I'm excited for the new year. There's lots of things I want to start doing in terms of spending my dividend income. Now that we have a nice good chunk of cash here coming in on a regular basis, we can start to have some fun with our dividend income and whatnot. So I got a lot of cool things lined up for the new year. So anyways, guys, that's a quick little update on that, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. And that brings us to the end of the video. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Hope you guys are enjoying the early winter here. The days are starting to get cold, and we just got some snow recently. Here's a little snapshot of that the other day. So it's starting to get cool. The weather's starting to get colder out. But we are also approaching my favorite time of the year, which is Christmas. So hope you guys are kind of getting ready for that. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care. Like I said, if you have any questions, and if you guys enjoyed the video, please sure to give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. But take care. I'll talk to you guys later, and have a good one.